Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. As the NFL season winds down, all eyes are turning to the Washington Commanders and their Week 18 clash against the Philadelphia Eagles, a matchup that may seem inconsequential on paper, but carries layers of significance for both teams. With just one game left before the offseason, the Commanders are confronting a pivotal moment, not only to end the season on a high note, but also to set the tone for the future. Head coach Dan Quinn has made it clear that he plans to play all starters who are healthy, signaling that this contest is not merely a formality. The Eagles, on the other hand, are jostling for playoff seeding and may choose to rest certain starters, making this game a potentially uneven battleground. Yet for Washington, the stakes extend beyond the scoreboard. This is the final chance for younger players to prove their worth, for veterans to showcase leadership, and for the coaching staff to evaluate who deserves a spot in the team's plans for the upcoming year. Quinn's approach seems straightforward. If a player is healthy, they will take the field, regardless of the broader context. Quinn's commitment to playing all healthy starters underscores a philosophy that every snap matters, even in what could be perceived as a low-stakes finale. "It hasn't come up with us. It's not something we're considering," Quinn said when asked about the possibility of holding players out. "Health definitely factors in with all the guys, you know that. But if the guys are healthy and they can play and do the things they need to, then that would be one. But it definitely factors in, but not on the healthy players." This statement illuminates Quinn's desire to maintain continuity and competitive integrity while simultaneously assessing talent for the offseason. While some teams might use this week to rest key contributors, the Commanders are doubling down on effort and performance. The decision is not without risks, particularly given the possibility of injuries or aggravating existing conditions. But it also signals that Quinn wants to finish the season strong, demonstrating a culture of accountability and resilience. There is, however, a potential downside to this strategy when it comes to the development of younger players. By opting to play all healthy veterans, Quinn may inadvertently limit opportunities for younger contributors who desperately need live game experience. Players like Quan Martin and Mike Sainristil, who have struggled to maintain consistent performance throughout the season, must seize moments like this to demonstrate growth and capability. Season finales often serve as audition platforms, and the Commanders have an array of young talent that could flourish if given sufficient snaps. Johnny Newton, coming off his best game last week, represents exactly the type of player who could benefit from expanded playing time. Likewise, Jordan McGee should see an increased role, ideally taking snaps over a veteran like Bobby Wagner, who, while invaluable, may not be part of the team's long-term plans. The balance between competing to win and developing the roster is delicate, and Quinn's decisions will have lasting implications for the team's future trajectory. Another layer of complexity lies in the uncertainty surrounding veteran availability. Injuries to key players like Laramie Tunsil and Marcus Mariota could force Quinn to adjust his approach. Yet the overarching message remains clear. The Commanders intend to compete fully. If all starters are fit, there will be no intentional resting or reduced snaps for the sake of the offseason. For fans and analysts, this creates a curious dynamic in which the team is motivated to win, yet must also reconcile that the season's outcome will not dramatically alter their playoff fate. The optics of fielding a complete roster while balancing developmental priorities make this matchup a fascinating case study in coaching philosophy. Observers will be watching closely to see how Quinn distributes playing time, particularly whether younger players are given meaningful opportunities to impact the game or are relegated to minor roles in favor of experienced veterans. The imperative for the Commanders is clear. This game should be a showcase for emerging talent. The offseason evaluation process begins on the field, and the coaching staff needs evidence that young players can handle the physicality and mental demands of NFL competition. Players like Kay Medrano and Ricky Barber, who have yet to establish themselves as reliable contributors, could solidify their case with a strong performance against a playoff-bound Eagles squad. For a team that has experienced inconsistent development across its roster, The chance to observe progression in real game conditions is invaluable. Quinn's challenge will be striking a balance between maintaining competitive integrity and providing developmental opportunities that have tangible implications for the next season. If the Commanders are to make meaningful improvements, these young players cannot simply ride the bench while veterans log every snap. Despite the apparent tension between winning and development, Quinn's comments suggest he recognizes the importance of both. The decision to play healthy starters does not preclude the possibility of giving key younger players significant opportunities. Rather, it requires thoughtful allocation of snaps and strategic planning to maximize growth without sacrificing competitiveness. This approach could be particularly critical when considering positions where the team lacks depth or is evaluating long-term replacements for aging veterans. The season finale is more than a single game. It is a laboratory for experimentation, a proving ground where coaches can gather data and players can stake their claim for roster spots. By carefully balancing playing time between. In the end, this season finale represents a crossroads for Washington. The Eagles game offers an opportunity to end the year on a high note, gain valuable insights about young players, and solidify a culture of accountability and resilience. Dan Quinn's philosophy of playing all healthy starters ensures the team will compete with integrity, but the key will be how much opportunity is afforded to younger contributors. The season finale may be one game, but for the Commanders, it is also a chance to shape the future, evaluate talent, and provide clarity for decisions that will impact the roster for years. If Quinn navigates this balance effectively, the team could enter the offseason with both momentum and a clearer picture of who belongs in the next chapter of Washington football. The stakes may not appear dramatic to outsiders, but within the organization, every snap, every play, and every young player's performance carries weight. As the Commanders travel to Philadelphia, the narrative is set. This is more than a finale. It is an audition, an evaluation, and a statement about the culture and future of the team. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Breaking news is sending shockwaves across the NFL universe. And if you thought the offseason was quiet, think again. The Washington Commanders, long seen as a team teetering on the edge of transformation, have reportedly made a move that could redefine their offensive identity for years to come. Tyreek Hill, the ultra-explosive wide receiver whose very presence seems to warp the field itself, is rumored to have agreed to terms with the Commanders. Yes, you heard that right. The same Tyreek Hill who has terrorized defenses from Kansas City to Miami is now allegedly set to bring his unmatched speed, creativity, and highlight reel potential to the nation's capital. And while details are still emerging, the implications of this signing are enormous, not just for the team, but for the entire league. The first thing to understand about Tyreek Hill is that he is more than just a wide receiver. He is a force of nature. Defenders literally cannot keep up with him, not in a conventional sense. Hill's speed is otherworldly, but it's his ability to change direction, to read the game in real time, and to accelerate in ways that seem to defy physics that truly sets him apart. Pairing a talent like that with Jayden Daniels, the young quarterback who has shown flashes of brilliance and poise, could create something the NFL has rarely, if ever, seen, a combination that turns the Commanders' offense into a nightmarish puzzle for opposing defenses. Daniels, who has already proven he has the arm, the vision, and the willingness to take risks, now allegedly gains the weapon that could elevate him from a promising quarterback to a legitimate superstar. Imagine the possibilities when a player capable of stretching the field in every direction is at your disposal. Rumors suggest that the Commanders' front office has been methodical in this pursuit, recognizing that building around Daniels is essential for the franchise's future. For months, whispers circulated that the team wanted a player who could fundamentally alter the way defenses approach them. Hill fits that bill perfectly. His presence on the field doesn't just open up one or two areas for the quarterback. It shifts the entire defensive scheme. Safeties are forced to cheat up or back. Corners have to respect his speed. Linebackers can no longer comfortably ignore the deep threat. And suddenly, the entire field becomes a chessboard where the Commanders can dictate the pace. If these rumors hold true, Daniels will not just have a top-tier receiver. He will have a receiver who can single-handedly change the dynamics of every game. Off the field, Hill's signing could also have ripple effects in the locker room. Known for his competitiveness and fiery energy, Tyreek brings an attitude that can inspire teammates but also demands accountability. For Daniels, this could be both a challenge and a blessing. On one hand, he will need to adapt to a player whose talent is undeniable and whose expectations are sky-high. On the other hand, the presence of someone of Hill's caliber could be exactly what Daniels needs to elevate his own game, to see what it means to play at a level that is not just good, but elite. Coaches reportedly see this potential as a turning point, a moment where the Commanders can finally begin to shed the label of inconsistency and become a team that opponents must fear on every single snap. The speculation doesn't stop with the immediate impact either. Analysts are already imagining scenarios where the Commanders' playbook expands exponentially. With Hill stretching defenses vertically and horizontally, Daniels could experiment with plays that were previously considered too risky or ambitious. Think jet sweeps, trick plays, deep posts, crossing routes designed to create chaos, and mismatches that no defense can prepare for in a single week. The synergy between Hill's ability to create separation in an instant and Daniels' willingness to throw into tight windows could redefine the way offensive strategy is viewed, at least for this team. Rumors even suggest that the coaching staff is considering restructuring certain formations to maximize Hill's involvement, ensuring he is a factor on nearly every snap and that opposing coordinators will have no choice but to chase shadows all game long. Beyond the tactical advantages, there's a psychological element at play. Tyreek Hill carries with him a reputation, and not just a reputation for speed. He is a player who can ignite a crowd, shift momentum in a single play, and deliver game-changing moments that are remembered for years. For the Commanders, this signing is more than just a roster upgrade. It is a statement. It signals to fans, rivals, and the league at large that the franchise is serious about competing at the highest level. Daniels, now armed with arguably the most explosive weapon in the NFL, suddenly has the kind of support that turns speculation into expectation. And while some may argue that integrating such a dynamic player could present challenges, others see it as the perfect storm. A young quarterback ready to ascend and a generational talent willing to take him there. Of course, with any rumor this explosive, there are still unanswered questions. What will the chemistry look like between Hill and Daniels in practice? How will the rest of the offense adjust to the increased focus on one player? Can the Commanders' offensive line provide the time needed for Daniels to fully exploit Hill's abilities? And perhaps most importantly, how will defenses across the league respond once this duo takes the field? Speculation is running wild, and the possibilities are tantalizing. Some insiders suggest that the Commanders might even shift their offensive philosophy to fully embrace the vertical game, leaning into Hill's speed and agility while designing schemes that allow Daniels to take shots downfield with confidence. Others hint at creative ways to leverage Hill in motion, in the backfield, or even on unexpected reverses, anything to keep opponents off balance. The rumor mill suggests that the league may soon face a team that feels less like a traditional offense and more like a constantly evolving highlight reel. There's also the fan reaction to consider, which has been nothing short of electric. Social media has exploded with speculation, memes, and heated debates about what this signing could mean. Some fans are already envisioning the Commanders contending for championships, imagining highlight reels of Hill's improbable catches and Daniels' pinpoint throws lighting up screens across the country. Others are cautiously optimistic, aware that success in the NFL is never guaranteed, and that the chemistry between a quarterback and a star receiver is something that must be cultivated over time. Yet, even the skeptics cannot deny the excitement that comes with the possibility of watching one of the fastest players in the history of the game line up with a young quarterback on the rise, ready to take on the league's best defenses. In short, the speculation surrounding Tyreek Hill joining the Washington Commanders is the kind of story that makes the NFL offseason feel like the regular season. The rumored combination of Hill and Jayden Daniels has the potential to transform the team, redefine strategies, and give fans a brand new reason to tune in week after week. While official confirmations are still pending and details are murky, the narrative alone is enough to capture imaginations. A team that has struggled to find consistency may finally have the ingredients to become a true contender. Hill's presence could provide the spark, Daniels' development the fuel, and together, they could ignite a run that reverberates across the league. As the rumors continue to swirl, one thing is certain. If these reports are true, the Washington Commanders are no longer just talking about the future. They are aggressively reshaping it. The potential for jaw-dropping plays, unforgettable moments, and a new era of excitement is palpable. For Jayden Daniels, the arrival of Tyreek Hill could mark the beginning of a career-defining chapter, one where every snap carries the weight of possibility and every touchdown could be a glimpse of greatness. For fans and analysts alike, the question is no longer whether the Commanders will be competitive. It is whether they are about to become one of the most electrifying teams the NFL has ever witnessed. The offseason just got a lot more interesting, and if the rumors hold any truth, the football world is about to experience something truly historic. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.